Imagine a night where the line between life and death, the real and the supernatural, simply vanishes. Do you think Halloween is just about pumpkins, costumes, and trick or treat? Think again.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween.
The story behind All Hallows Eve is darker, older, and far more complex than any horror movie. Today, we're traveling back 3,000 years. From Celtic Ireland to modern America, you'll discover where, how, and why the spookiest holiday of the year began. Get ready, because the true origin of Halloween is about to be revealed. Stay until the end to hear the chilling legend behind the famous jack-o'-lantern. To truly understand Halloween, we need to forget the name and travel back to a festival called Samhain. We are about 2,000 years ago in the lands of Ireland, Great Britain, and northern France. This was the territory of the Celts, a polytheistic people deeply connected to nature and the harvest cycles. For the Celts, October 31st wasn't Halloween. It was the eve of the Celtic New Year. It marked the final harvest, the end of summer, and the beginning of the dark, cold winter season. For them, winter was a time often associated with death and darkness, quite literally. The crucial element of Samhain was the belief that the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead was at its thinnest. It was thought that spirits, both benign ancestors and malevolent entities, could walk the earth again. To ward off evil spirits and symbolically aid the sun in its long winter journey, the Druids, spiritual leaders, lit massive bonfires. To confuse and scare away these invading spirits, the Celts wore masks and animal skins. They disguised themselves to look like one of the spirits, ensuring they would be left alone. That's the origin of our costumes. Additionally, food was left outside homes to appease any spirits passing by. The Roman Empire, and later Christianity, expanded across the British Isles. The church faced a challenge. How do you convert people with such deep-rooted traditions like Samhain? The answer was, don't ban them, absorb them. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated All Saints' Day on November 1st, a day to honor all Christian martyrs and saints. And the evening before this celebration? It was called All Hallows Eve, the evening of All Saints. Over time, the phrase All Hallows Eve was shortened to Hallows Even, and eventually to the name we know, Halloween. The church also established All Souls' Day on November 2nd, a day to honor all the departed faithful. This reinforced the focus on the dead at the beginning of November, mirroring the Celtic focus. The aim was to give a religious context to the deeply ingrained folk practices. Now let's unveil the major symbols of Halloween. The legend of jack-o'-lantern. This is the ultimate symbol, and it has an incredible Irish story. The legend is about Stingy Jack, a notorious drunk and trickster. Jack managed to deceive the devil himself twice, forcing him to promise never to take his soul to hell. However, when Jack died, he was a sinner and couldn't enter heaven. And the devil, bound by his promise, wouldn't let him into hell. Jack was condemned to wander the earth in eternal darkness. The devil gave him a single burning ember, which Jack placed inside a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. People in Ireland and Scotland began carving scary faces into turnips or potatoes to ward off Jack's wandering spirit. It was only when the tradition traveled to America that the turnip was replaced by the much larger and more abundant pumpkin. Trick or treating. The origin traces back to medieval practices, especially in England and Ireland, called souling. Poor people or children would go door to door asking for food or money in exchange for a prayer for the souls of the family's dead relatives. They would receive a soul cake. Later, guising emerged in Scotland and Ireland, where young people disguised themselves and performed songs, jokes, or poems in exchange for food or coins. The threat of a trick was the concluding element.
Here's your treat.
Thank you.
The colors. Orange represents the harvest, autumn, and the celebration of life. Black represents death, darkness, night, and winter, the core themes of Samhain, the journey to America. For centuries, Halloween remained a celebration primarily restricted to the British Isles. In colonial America, the holiday was almost non-existent due to strict Puritan and Protestant beliefs. The great change came in the mid-19th century with the arrival of millions of Irish and Scottish immigrants, particularly after the Great Famine in Ireland, who brought their customs en masse to America. There, Halloween gradually lost some of its purely religious or folkloric edge, becoming more of a community social event. Parties aimed at discouraging vandalism grew popular in cities. Industry took over. Postcards, commercial costumes, and, of course, the replacement of the turnip with the pumpkin cemented the format we recognize today. From Samhain, a New Year's celebration tied to agriculture and spirits, to the Christian All Hallows Eve, and finally, to the global Halloween. The holiday has transformed into an entertainment phenomenon. Today, it is an incredible cultural blend. The Celtic respect for the dead, the Christian tradition of honoring souls, and the American passion for costumes and candy. The essence, however, remains the same. A night to confront the darkness with light, celebration, and fun. And what about you? Which of the legends did you find spookiest? That of Stingy Jack? Or the idea that spirits can truly walk among us? Let me know in the comments below. Happy Halloween. Or should I say, Happy Samhain.